A very good morning to one and all. This is Kriti Sharma from Arya College of Engineering and IT, Kukas, Jaipur. Today we are going to discuss the topic labor laws from the subject New Enterprise and Innovation Management, MBA second semester. So, labor laws or labor legislation is the body of laws, administrative rulings, precedents which address the relationship between and among the employees, and labor organizations, often dealing with the issues of public law. Indian labor law refers to law regulating labors in India. Traditionally, Indian government at federal and state level have sought to ensure a high degree of protection for workers, but in practice, legislative rights only cover a minority of workers. India is a federal form of government, and because labor is a subject in the concurrent list of the Indian Constitution, labor matters are in the jurisdiction of both central and state government. Both central and state government have enacted laws on labor relations and employment issues. Indian labor laws are made to define the clear-cut relationships between employees and the employers. Indian labor laws are made to safeguard the interest of the workers. The major labor laws in India, like the Workers' Compensation Act in 1923, the Trade Union Act in 1926, Payment of Wages Act in 1936, Industrial Employment Act in 1946, and Indian Industrial Disputes Act in 1947. These all rules are conducted, or these all rules are only for the safeguard of the laborers which are working in organized and unorganized sectors both. So, what are the importance and necessities of labor laws? These are the prospects workers from exploitation by the employers or management, means to protect the workers from the exploitation during the working hours or during the job. Next is to help workers in getting fair wages, to minimize the labor unrest, reduces the conflicts and strikes, etc. The main issue was to reduce the conflicts that are mostly occur between the management and the unorganized sectors or laborers. It improves industrial relations, that is employee-employer relation, and minimizes the industrial disputes. It ensures the job security for workers. It promotes the welcome environment conditions in the industrial system. It fixes the rest, pause, and working hours, but it can vary from industry to industry how much working hours are set by the management. Next is to provide compensation to workers who are victims of accident, means to provide remuneration or some other benefits who got the accident during the working hours or during their job. Next is it is the overall evaluation of labor legislations in India. Next is the objectives of labor laws. So main objectives of labor laws are fair wages, to provide the fair wages to all the workers, and to provide the equal opportunity to all the laborers, besides they belong to specific community or without the discrimination of gender, to protect the child labor, protecting the disabled, and working hours. Now, the basic principles of labor laws. First is protection from discrimination, compensation, labor unions, and creating a union. So first of all, the protection from discrimination. Labor laws in the labor law generally protect employees from unlawful discrimination. This means that business cannot discriminate in hiring practices, promotions, or firing of employees. Businesses also cannot discriminate based on race, ethnicity, sex, religion, or nation of origin. These are called protected classes. Some states also protect against discrimination based on religion, sexual orientation, and gender identification. Often, the most contentious of these protected classes is religion. Means uh, the management cannot discriminate on the basis of gender inequality, or they cannot bias with the laborers on the basis of their religion. So labor laws requires that businesses make attempts to accommodate the religion beliefs of their employees, unless doing so would create a hardship for the company. uh, to conclude this, we can take an example. Suppose an employee who is belonging to a specific religion, they can make or they can request certain holidays off during their working hours. So as an employer, you cannot deny the request of that particular employee and should make an accommodation to find other workers to cover the shift if at all possible. With regards to all the protected classes, business owners cannot relate the against an employee that files a complaint about the discrimination. So the basic motto of this protection from discrimination is to provide the equal opportunity to all the employees and do not discriminate on any basis among the laborers. Next is compensation. This law says that employees must generally be paid a minimum wage depending on the state in which they live. It also requires that employees who are employed on an hourly basis be paid overtime pay if they work more than 40 hours per week. These rules vary slightly by state and by industry. Means the Compensation Act says that to provide the appropriate remuneration or appropriate compensation to all the workers, to all the laborers, and if they are working more than 40 hours in a week or in a specific week, they have to provide the overtime for their working hours. So the Compensation Act is basically to provide the appropriate remuneration or appropriate compensation to all the laborers. Next is the labor union. The development of labor union was changed the way that employees deal with their employers. The National Labor Relation Act, that is NLRA of 1935, is federal legislation that requires businesses that hire members of unions to meet with union representatives to negotiate on wages, working hours, and workplace conditions. So labor unions basically provide a basic union representative, and on the basis of all the laborers, that particular representative will talk to the upper management or to the officers of the organization, and they can talk or they can negotiate on the basis of wages and on the basis of working hours and working conditions of all the laborers. So they can create a particular union representative of all the laborers. Next is creating a union. Employees are also free to form unions to bargain collectively with their employers. The National Labor Relations Board is a federal organization that oversees the rules regarding the creation of unions. To form a union, employees must organize themselves so that at least 30% of the employees of a business agree to have a union. The names and signatures of the employees are then submitted to the National Labor Relations Board. So for this, uh, the board will verify the signature and hold a secret ballot vote procedure of the employees to ascertain if the majority of employees desires to have a workplace union. If this turns out to be the case, the employees are free to arrange their union and to appoint representatives to negotiate with the businesses. As a business owner, it is important to know that or it is important to know about this procedure and follow the law to be amendable to working with unions to create a positive working environment. Thank you.